I've been privileged to spend time working with one of South Africa's master storytellers, a person who truly understands the astonishing power of story. Would you please put your hands together and give a warm entrepreneurial welcome to South Africa's master storyteller, the one and only Justin Cohen.
Thank you, Michael. What we normally do at events like these is we give Prototype Joe an award and we say, congratulations, you're Entrepreneur of the Year, and we send him off on his way. But that's not the way we're going to do it tonight, because then Joe would not have earned his dinner. You see, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to ask Joe how he did what he did. We're going to get Joe's story. The greatest gift that a story has to give is the lesson of a life that we didn't have to live. The greatest gift that an entrepreneurial story has to give is the lesson of a business that we didn't have to start, or a lesson of a business that we didn't have to sequestrate. Because yes, as you'll discover tonight, for every one of the successes on this stage, they have a multiplicity of failures and setbacks behind them. It's the resilience and persistence that we're going to hear about more than ever. So, yes, tonight we're going to get the story so that we can find out how they did what they did, and we can be inspired to do the same.
Our Innovator of the Year for South Africa for 2011, for the very first time ever. Would you please step forward, Ilian Wiener?
There's one thing that separates a leader from a follower, it's innovation. Now, Ilian is in public relations. You wouldn't think that there was a whole lot of innovation that you could do in an established field like public relations. But I think the numbers really speak for itself. You've doubled your revenues every year, 3 years in a row. That doesn't happen by doing same old, same old. How do you do it?
I was really on the corporate ladder to success. I was really on the high road. At the age of 30, I was head of external communications for Old Mutual. And my wife was 5 months pregnant at the time. It was the middle of the second biggest recession the world had ever seen. So I did the sensible thing and resigned. But I think to me, people they say it was a risky venture and a risky move, but I never thought it was. And the reason for that is because my time spent in those institutions really gave me an opportunity to see a massive gap in the market.
You went for such a niche market, and yet you've got revenues that are way in excess of your average public relations company. And for me, that's a critical lesson. Target market. Who is that target market? You only need to focus on one slice of that pie, because the slice, well, financial services, what's the biggest? It's actually the biggest sector of the economy, isn't it? So,
yeah, well, the secret is go where the money is. But I think more than just financial services, the opportunities and where we've branched into is any company that has a large amount of intellectual capital, that wants to showcase that intellectual capital and position itself as a thought leader. That's where we excel.
You hear about these interesting ideas. They don't just happen. You've got a very interesting process. You target 4 to 5 new innovations every month. While most businesses are out there just fulfilling, you are spending time just thinking up new ways. Tell us a bit about that process.
Well, not all those innovations are necessarily wow ideas. Some of them are very much operational tweaks, slight new ways of doing something, but some of them are big ideas. And there's 2 or 3 in the pipeline now, which are some extremely big ideas, which I have the time to work on, which is great.
And you make a commitment that 75% have to be implemented within 3 months. So you're not just dreaming stuff up, you make a commitment to implement.
There's 2 kind of people in this world, as far as I'm concerned. There were talkers and there are doers. Anybody can talk a big game, but can they put that into practice?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ilian Wiener.
The South African Entrepreneur of the Year for 2011 is Mark Sternberg, Spark ATM Systems.
The best entrepreneurs follow Thomas Edison. As he put it, I find out what the world needs, and then I proceed to give it to them. Well, Mark Sternberg found out what South Africa needed, largely because it was what he needed. Cash on tap, and you provided it. Tell us about your bright spark.
We had to find a way to do ATMs differently to the banks. Really, the key driver for me was to be able to offer an ATM to any site that wanted an ATM.
The way that you recycle cash is fascinating, because you might think of an ATM as just simply this place, that's cool to go and be able to get cash. But the key thing is that the business owner can take all the cash that they'd have to go to take to the bank. So there's a huge security risk in that. They cut that out and they literally recycle the cash. They put it in the ATM, and now people take it out and that gets credited to their account. So in a sense, they kind of become a bank.
Absolutely, and I think the common thread, if you look through all of the winners as well as the finalists tonight, is we're born problem solvers. And the issue that retailers or anyone taking cash in South Africa has today is that cash becomes a burden to their business. They have to hoard it, pay expensive cash deposit fees or cash transportation fees to get it off their premises, etc., etc. All of that costing them time, money, and raising security risks. Where we turned it on its head a bit is we said all we need to get is cash into that ATM. So rather than paying expensive CIT companies to do it for us, we said let's find premises where they have significant cash, let them fill the ATM. Whatever gets withdrawn out of the ATM, when you go up and you draw 500 Rand, it's actually the shopkeeper's money. We chose a business model that is extremely recession-proof because it's a cost saver at the end of the day for these businesses.